Hello, hello, everyone. Patriot 5, Patriot 6 here. Wednesday night, midweek. It's go time. It's time they quit messing around. And I'm going to start off a little bit and talk a few minutes before I play the music and say the pledge. But Monday night, and if you don't believe what I'm about to say, send Ron a message. He'll verify it. I got off and I of the show, and I said, I don't know where that beginning came from. When I went after the hat, and I mean, I did, and I believed every word I said, but I did not plan that. It was not something that was in the show. It's just that I started, and it's because of the love I have for the people who is suffering. People like the homeless here in the USA, the people who doesn't have enough money to buy food, the people who is struggling, and I don't see any help. And I'm not going after him here, guys. I'm just stating facts. Well, evidently, I rubbed someone wrong because I got an email from an anonymous person. All I say is I'm man enough to say what I say, and I'm going to justify it in just a minute. And when I say things and I yell at him and I get going on him about, instead of having a driver, instead of having a heated garage where some people in this world don't even have heat, let him live the same conditions for 2 days and see how he thinks it should change. But anyway, I was called a hypocrite because I went off on him like that. But the difference between me being a hypocrite there and going off on him like that compared to other people when they go off on him, what is the one thing I always do? No matter how much I go after this man to try to open his eyes, if this video would by some chance get into his hands and he could watch it, I always say, but he's still the best person for the job. God handpicked him, and we all still love him. So there's a difference than cutting someone down and just ripping them apart. So for anybody that wants to call me a hypocrite, at least have the courtesy to call me a hypocrite and let me know who you are. I might agree with you. I don't think I am, but if it'll make you feel better, Ron says sometimes he thinks I'm a hypocrite. I don't even know what hypocrite means. I guarantee I can't spell it. So we're going to go and we're going to say the pledge, do the music. And, I just wanted to start this show off on such a high note because I really do appreciate it when someone has the nerve to come to me and say Patriot 5 and say something like that. And if you want to call me a name, fine. But at least let me know who's calling it. Don't hide behind us. your mom's skirt, that takes me back to when we had two people that used to really be in big in this show. They spoke on the show. One of them spoke a lot on the show, but both of them, none of them had the nerve to get up and put their face in front of the people. We didn't even know they was real. It could have been AI generated. Anyway, let's do the pledge and the music. And by the way, I'm in a good mood tonight, guys, so there might be some corny jokes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And you know he did it. I'm not gonna, the people know he did it. So when I call him out like that, it's thanking him like a fucking idiot.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life. And I had to start again. Just my children and my wife.
I was laying in bed.
Thank my lucky
I
stars.
looked at my watch. I fell
To
asleep
be living
after I
here
was able to pull
today,
off and get them.
where the
Yeah,
flag
that's good.
still stands for freedom,
I'm laying in
and they
bed.
can't take that away.
And I look at my watch and it goes 10 minutes. You know,
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I
I
know
took those
I'm
hikes and
free.
550.
And I
No,
won't
I wanted to
forget
like I
the
had
man
that.
who died, who gave that
Put my
right
phone
to
in back on my
me.
phone
And I'm
and
glad
then
to stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no
took it all the way to
doubt
fall asleep.
that's
And I said, oh, wait a minute. And then once I got a show, and I had to cancel it. So we were drinking another cup of coffee, and then we just quit. Well, I only drank about, there's about that much in my cup. So I filled it up.
To the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say,
Now, you do need to do when you lost some two guys. And you're good. These guys have come together better than the females.
Next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt of this land. God bless the USA. Next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless
Yes, God bless the USA. Proud to be an American. Be proud to be any country you're living in, visiting in, or whatever. So, Super Jimmy, we talked Monday night about your daddy's tattoo, and as I said, my family had two brothers, me, and a sister. My mom and my dad, and my dad was the only one that had a tattoo. And I'm sure, Jimmy, when you get old enough, and maybe Larry's already done it now, and maybe Papa's done it, maybe you guys have all got tattoos. And I understand that, see, because I have a son-in-law, Grandma Bo, who I really miss her coming on now, and I haven't been able to talk to her much here recently because I don't go over that way and go to the park anymore. I used to take the kid.
She sent me a message today, and she said, I wish it would stay like this for a while."
Yeah.
You know?
Ron said Grandma Bo sent him a message today and said she wishes the weather would stay like this. I mean, and that goes to show you the kind of weather we're getting, guys, because it was windy, but it was about 26 or 27 degrees. So when you're happy with 26 and 27 degrees and windy, because let's face it, with that wind, you're down about 14 or 15. But let's going back to my son-in-law, kids. He had a cousin, first cousin, best friend in the world, right after he started dating my daughter, and he got killed on a motorcycle accident. So kids, if you get old enough to ride motorcycles, remember to be careful. But anyway, he got killed on a motorcycle accident, and there was about 20 of them went and got his initials and a emblem. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Never mind. I went to answer and it wouldn't let me answer it. But anyway, hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So can the group.
I can barely hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can hear you fine.
Okay. Let me read this out.
Okay, Margaret's going to read something, guys. Go ahead.
Unless you want to read it.
No, go ahead.
I sent it to you on Telegram.
Go ahead. Read it.
Okay. Things have changed forever. As I told you guys on Monday at 8:30 this morning, our time, the entire world shifted. Donald Trump walked into Davos and put the whole world on notice. The UN, NATO, and the EU, the globalists were all told comply or be left behind and fade away, period. We gladly invite you to join us in the prosperity and the golden age or disappear into obscurity. I've said it before, people will talk about it and study in amazement at the days we are living in this millennium. But this day, the speech will be a focus of the study in and of itself. We don't realize it yet, and we have a lot to expose and go through yet. But make no mistake, it is truly over. It ended at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, January 21st, 2026. Everything changed permanently. From this point toward the New World Order is the Trump/American World Order. We made it, guys. There still is a bumpy stretch of road ahead of us and much work to do, especially at your local level. But we have arrived. Q told us nothing can stop what is coming. Well, today, Patriots, that came true. It's here. Where we go one, we go all. Q knew. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Everybody ready? Thanks for calling. I'll get back to the show and thank you.
Okay, I'll listen to you now.
Okay. Bye. There you go, guys. Kids, I'm sorry you got interrupted, but that's great news. I can't wait to go and read it. She said she sent it to me. I want to go and read it myself and read it again and again. You know, it's funny because I'm always talking to, and I'm going to get back to the kids in a minute, but I'm always talking to God every day and asking.
Remember too that they got peace council coming.
Yes. And I'm always talking to God and asking him to show me signs of things. And tonight's show was 1, 2, 3. It's time. Midweek, it's time. We all need it, or so. I don't remember the exact title, but the title emphasized on it's our time now. And then, and I'm going to tell you guys right now what she just read, and I hope you guys took the time to listen. As a matter of fact, if you guys want to give me thumbs up so I can tell her how you guys felt about it, and every thumb up, I can get back with her and tell her thank you. But that was an amazing thing. And actually, you got to see what Savior actually looked like. I was actually able to, I finally thought about putting her up there so you guys could see her. And I'm not going to say that the video that I played tonight, I will for the music, but I'm not going to say it for that one because that one's just a treat. This lady has come into our life, my life, Ron's life, and we wouldn't be sitting here tonight if she would have give up on us. And, you know, she's experienced hardships like all of us, but her hardships, sometimes other people's hardships. We have people in this group that have experienced hardships, gone through things that we shouldn't, but we're still together as a family. You know, our group may be small, but I'd rather be small and everyone loving everyone. Because even the people that don't come over to the chat, man, thank you guys for all of the hallelujahs and hi and thumbs up and that. But that is really great news. I mean, it's got me pumped. I was in a good mood before, and it's like, wow. You know, you might get a wild show tonight, guys. I might tell some naughty jokes. I won't tell no naughty jokes. But anyway, I'm going to go back to the kids. And, you know, I was talking to Jimmy about tattoos and, you know, and myself, I don't believe in them, but your dad, hey, maybe if I would have had someone that I married in my life, like your dad did, the love of his life, and maybe I'll find someone still, I might get a picture of me and her on my arm. I doubt it. If I did, I'd probably get it on a cheek of my butt. I told you I was wound up, guys. You never know what's going to come out of me right now. I mean, that was a good one because I don't even got Ron to laugh over there. Made him take a drink of his coffee, too. But anyway, Patriot 11, we miss you, buddy. Patriot Karate Kid and Patriot Wyatt Earp. I hope your mom and family is all doing okay. I know losing your great aunt, her aunt, is hard. It's hard to lose anyone. And it really is. But then you have things that happen, and we've stayed together. The love we have, the caring we have for one another has made this group just an unbelievable group. I once asked God, if I could touch one person, I think I've touched more than one. I think Ron's touched more than one. I mean, you can't believe, kids, the smile that I have on my face when I get up in the morning and I got a message here from this one and from this one and from this one. And you take Ronnie, not Ron, but Ronnie, who's always posting. Ronnie can't be on the shows because of work commitments, but the things that he does, the things that he does, and for the family, for the group, there's some people that's disappeared, but they all seem to maybe find their way back. Maybe some of the people who used to be with us just don't come into the chat anymore, but they still enjoy the show. When someone says to me, well, how many followers do you have? I said, we got over 3,000 followers with this. That's not many. I said, well, how many followers do you have? And what I mean by followers is people who watch. We was a long stretch that we was getting 1,000, 1,500 views out of 3,000 people. I could do what the other people do, kids. I could go in and I could cheat, and I could put ads for when people watch them. They pay people. I could have 100,000 views a day. I could have followers of 100,000, and I could make money. But that's not what Patriot 5, Patriot 6, and family is about, kids. And that's what you got to learn. And you guys, when I kept saying this, people was probably thinking, why is he talking to the kids like this? Because I wanted to make that point there. It's not about the money. It's about our freedom, our lifestyles, the way that this world is going to be. Kids, I was talking to a lady, and she asked me, she says, can you tell me more about this foreign currency? Can you tell me more about the XRP and XLM? Can you tell me more about exactly what it is? Because she couldn't understand what I was doing. And I wrote her, me, I use voice to print, so I'm talking and it's printing it out, and then I go back and check it to make sure it's okay. And I sent her this stuff, and this lady got back with me, and she says, wow. She says, I didn't know it was something like that. That's amazing. She said, we need more people like your group. Our group, not me, because I don't put it in as Patriot 5 and Patriot 6 or just Patriot 5. When I talk to someone, it's Patriot 5, Patriot 6, and family. And for all of those that's in this world that don't choose to be with us, for all of those that left us, you lost. Because you're with a family here. You can go and follow these other people and pay money. They don't give a rat's ass about you. Excuse me, kids. Let's get on with the kids. Patriot, Princess, our queen, and Patriot Hunter. Grandma, I'm telling you, you might have to have a talk with her, because all she wants to do is keep posting these pictures of all of these cookies and all of this stuff. And I made for Christmas, because I took some over to my grandkids, took some home to my grandkids. It's amazing how my son made a bunch of cookies for Christmas, but then the kids has got to practically beg to have one. No, it's Christmas time. You give the kids cookies.
You're gonna be able to go and get one.
And with me, man, I made a bunch, and I'd go home, and the kids would be playing. Mom and dad was out there. My son and daughter-in-law doing something. I'd say, here, you want a cookie? Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm going to spoil you. Grandpa Hank's going to give you each 2. You know? But your grandma, Patriot Princess and our queen and Hunter, she keeps making these cookies. I keep telling her, hey, here's my address. And I'm just joking, but
we know sending cookies work.
Pardon me? And as Ron says, we know sending cookies to people you love like you love us. We know it works because, see, funny story, kids, Patriot 6, when he was in the military, he was in Germany and France. Not at the same time because he's, too much stretching. But he was in Germany and France, and my mom would send cookies once or twice a month. We didn't have much money, but my mom always come up with stuff and homemade cookies, and they were good. The only good part about sending cookies to Ron and sending cookies to my brother Russ in Vietnam was she always made enough for me too. But the thing of it is, and Russ has never talked about receiving the cookies like Ron does, but Ron would always talk about how when they would get the cookies and he would get that box, boy, all of them people that was in his platoon there, they'd see him and man, they're running to him because they want mom's cookies. And she could send 2 or 3 dozen and they were gone like that. But that's what it's about, family, guys. Kids, it's about family. So kids, what I'm trying to tell you is not about cookies, but sometime when you think you just have to be on your tablet, when you think you have to be on your laptop or on your cell phone, look and say, you know what? No, I'm going to go spend some family time. I want to look back like Patriot 5 does and remember the glory days that he spent with his family. Kids, and I'm going to get to all of you, I promise. But when I was a kid, we used to buy popcorn from a guy down the street where my sister's property is right now. My sister's lived in that house for 50 some years. But where her property is, that used to be a popcorn field right in the middle of town. A popcorn field. And we would go when he would take the popcorn down. Well, back then they didn't have the great machinery, and there would be some that would get falling on the ground. We would go and pick it up, and when we'd shell it ourselves, we loved to make. I don't want no dang microwave popcorn. My 2 grandkids, they love popcorn. I mean, they love it with a passion. That live with me, huh? They love it with a passion, and they're eating it last night. They had to stand in the kitchen because the living room got cleaned and they didn't want to get no popcorn. I said, so they spill popcorn on the floor. Yeah, take the broom and you sweep it up, guys. That's all you gotta do. But I told him I'm gonna make them some good popcorn one day. And he said, what do you mean? Like I said, the guy that we would go pick it up and at, we lived on a farm and they planted 40 acres of popcorn on our farm. Oh my goodness. We had a 55-gallon drum that we shelled ourselves and put in this drum. We had everybody in a family. And you know what? We used it all because we used to get aggravated. Who got to pop the popcorn? Now, hey, throw it in the microwave, walk away for 3 minutes, come back, open it up, let it cool off a little bit. No, popcorn is not supposed to be cooked in a microwave. It's supposed to be cooked over a stove with oil. Back then it was lard, but with oil, and then put some hot butter on it. That's how popcorn's supposed to be cooked. But anyway, Patriot, Boogie, Boogaloo, Boogaroo, and Boogies. You kids, I love you to death, even though I might mess your names up every now and then, but, I try my best, and I'm sure that you're the kind of kids that love popcorn too. Isn't popcorn maybe the greatest treat out there? And it's so inexpensive to make. I mean, we can still go get a pound bag for $1.25 at the dollar store. $1.25 for a pound bag. We used to pay a nickel a pound when we wasn't picking it up, and the guy, we run out of what we picked up and shelled ourselves, and we go down and we say, Mr. Rathman, we need 2 pounds. And sometimes we had to look for the dime just to be able to go get it. We want 2 pounds of popcorn. And he would go out to his shed and he had his measuring. And I'm telling you, if he would go 2 or 3 kernels over, he would pick them out. He would only give you 2 pounds. But boy, when his wife came out there, when she came out there and she was doing, seeing what he was doing, my goodness gracious, John, put some popcorn in her. Man, all of a sudden she poured like 2.5 more pounds in there. And whoa, we felt like we just won at Vegas. We got 4 pounds of popcorn for a dime. A dime. I was in the store, a gas station the other day, Snicker bars that I used to pay a nickel for. $3.89. $3.89. But you get 2, the same size as what I used to pay a nickel for. So what I would have paid a dime for is $3.89. Come on, Mr. President, help us. Oh, the glory days if we could go back to the 50s and 60s prices, kids. Your lives would change. Your attitude would change. You know, someone said, I read an article, kids, the other night, and the article says, did parents really used to let their kids just go out and run around town? Yeah, because you didn't have to worry. We never knew what it was to lock our doors when we were growing up. Lock your door? Why? What if someone needs in to get out of the cold? You know, you could have someone knock on your door at 2 a.m. Hey, it's cold out here. You mind if I come in and sit by your stove? Psst, come on in. And, you know, that's the kind of life I want for Patriot, Little Leona, and Little Elan. I want the kind of life where they're going to be free, where they're going to have fun. It's all about life and about your stories. Man, I could go on and on and on, kids, about the stories of me being a kid, about Ron being a kid, you know. But it's time to move on. You know, Patriot Super Gymnast, Patriot 7, my grandkids, you know, they love popcorn, just like Patriot Hank and Patriot Kara, Patriot, Little Monkey. They all love popcorn. They love to make cookies with their mom and dad. You know, the 3, Gymnast, 7, and the Little Monkey, their mom, when they make cookies, she lets them come out there to the kitchen table and help. And oh, you don't believe the mess they made, but the memories they're making. So Jana, get your 2 grandkids in there and let them help you make them cookies. You know, anybody, you know, Mike, get your great granddaughter in there. You know, can you imagine her? You know, my mom had a recipe, kids, a recipe for noodles. And everybody thought my mom's noodles were the greatest in the world. My mom she didn't know what she did. She never had, I said she had a recipe. She didn't. She just made them. But she had a pan that she cooked them in. And now me and Ron have that pan. And I made noodles the other day and they were good. It's the love you put into them, guys. And that concludes tonight's version of the kids. And I know I got running off a little bit, but you know, it is what it is. The music that was played tonight, we have no legal rights to. And the video, the music we have no legal rights to. And this video is not made for kids. You can watch it under the discretion of your parents, grandparents, or legal guardians. And that does now end the kids session. So where are we at now, guys? Well, I think with all the thumbs up and all the praying hands and the yes, I did and all of that, I think you can use an expression. We think the time is changing, and it's changing for us. You know, stop and think about it. Stop and think about going and trying to find some information. You know, if Linda Scullin was on, if Ronnie was on, if Savior was back on, Diane, you know, all of these people, they work endlessly along with a lot of you others. They work endlessly to get stuff together for the show, to share stuff in 2 or 3 different places so we can learn what's going on. And what we're learning is, oh my goodness, it's all, you know, I don't like the man that I'm going to say here, but there's a man that's got a show, had a song, and the name of the song was Glory Days. We're not going to let them pass us by, guys. We're in for so many glory days. Talking to that lady that I was talking to today, the lady that, tells me that, she'd like to know more about what I do, more about crypto, more about, foreign currency. And I'm talking to her, and I must have told her good enough about crypto because she went out and bought several thousand XRP. And we'll talk about XRP in a little bit. But it is what it is, and it's just, I mean, we are in glory days. And when I say I don't like the man, it's because of who he is and what he does. And you guys all know what I mean by that, and I'm not going to go into detail. But if I tell you I don't care for someone, it's because of the way they handle themselves. So Margaret just came on, and she helped us with the information that she gave us, and I am very thankful. But there's also something else going on. The full list of countries, the hat invited to Gaza Peace Council, has been published. It includes the Ukraine, Belarus, and Russia, but not China. The full list: Albania, Argentina, Australia, Bahrain, Belarus, Brazil, Canada, Cyprus, Egypt, European Commission, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, India, Indonesia, Ireland, Israel, Italy, Japan, Jordan, Kazakhstan, Morocco, Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Oman, Pakistan, Paraguay, Poland, Portugal, Qatar, Romania, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, Slovenia, South Korea, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Thailand, Turkey, United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, Ukraine, Uzbekistan, and Vietnam. It's also announced that the signing ceremony of the Peace Council Charter will take place Thursday, January 22nd at 10 a.m. in Davos. So this is all in the thing. See, guys, what they're doing, they're inviting these people. They're inviting these countries to this peace treaty, this peace council. When they sign it, that means the wars have to end. What happens when the wars have to end? Now, I'm going to give you some things. I'm going to give you what Margaret Savior just read. I'm going to give you what I just read. I'm going to also tell you it's been said for many, 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 many years that I've been following this. Nothing will happen until Iraq pays us and our troops leave their country. Our troops have left their country. So even though mainstream media news wants to sit on their total behinds, I was going to say something else, but I can keep it down. Even though they want to sit on their behinds and not do anything and report the news, the troops are home. That means the United States have been paid by Iraq. And whoa, the United States people, the government, the hat, people like that own trillions upon trillions of Iraqi dinar. What does it mean to Iraq? It means that they're going to buy them back. They're going to get all of this stuff accomplished. Every country is going to go to gold back standard. Big N, big G is going to go into effect. No more debt. No more sorrow. No more sadness. No more people sleeping on the streets. No more people like Julia and her family who have no electricity. I'll tell you a funny story. It's not funny. It's funny the way we talk about it, but for them, it's not. Imagine, and kids, if you're still listening, imagine being a kid and being in kindergarten, because that's what Julia's friend Masha teaches. Imagine being in kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth, fifth grade, whatever. And you go to school and the electricity's on. And with the electricity being on, the heat is on. And the kids did not want to go home because they knew they were safe there and had heat. They had heat and they didn't want to go home. Kindergarten kids who don't want to go home to see mommy and daddy. But the good news is at that particular time, the whole area where she lives in, I can't pronounce it, Birdie Snack or Berdynsk or something like that. But they all had electricity. But sometimes, guys, they go 2 days. Imagine, imagine going and having to go 2 days without any heat. Now, me and Ron, we did a Nover thing. We sent them over a little bit of money yesterday, and we don't do that much, but we sent them over a little bit of money so they could go out and buy some light bulbs that they could actually get to work, so they at least have light in their house.
They bought the whole lamp, didn't they? What's the
Oh, they bought lamps. They bought lamps
battery?
and then a battery charger so they can charge them. They sit in the dark. They can't watch TV because you have no electricity. Whenever you think we got it bad here, because I'm telling you, there's some days here I'm thinking, oh my God, can it get any worse? And then I think of these countries. And you know, what they're going through in their country probably isn't half as bad as some of the other countries. Now, some of the other countries like in Africa and things like that, they might have bad times, but it don't get cold in Africa like it does in the Ukraine. So what I just read there, guys, the 3 things that I just mentioned about what Margaret said, and then this here that the countries that I read and the other stuff, guys, they can't stop it now. You heard Margaret say there is no turning back, and we've heard that before. But did we come this far to start all of a sudden decide to not believe? No, we came this far because we believe and we want to be there. You know, and I got to tell a quick story. I was in Walmart yesterday, and guys, I am not a fan of Walmart, but in our area, it's the only place I can really go to and at a decent price get dog and cat food. And I have 6 cats. Ron has 1, and I have a dog. And I want to thank Linda Scullin, because Linda Scullin told me a couple of things to get for my dog. My dog is 14 years old, and I really thought she was about ready to leave us. And I followed Linda's instructions. And somebody else must have heard about this, because on my doorstep, and I didn't order it, I checked all of my orders, another something showed up. And I'm giving this to my dogs, the 3 different kinds, once a day. And I'm telling you, and you can ask Ron if you're chatting with him. This little dog that's 14 years old that we was worried wouldn't make it to Christmas now is really, really moving around pretty good. Drinking, I swear she eats. I used to have another little dog that was her sister, that until the day the sister died and we buried her, the next day was the first day that little dog had ever spent a day away from her sister. They were born together. I got them and I brought them from the lady's house together, and they never were separated. They always was right there together. And that's the kind, kids, that's the kind of stories you want to have. You want to take care of your animals. You know, I heard something about why does an animal like to sleep in your bed? The reason a dog likes to sleep in your bed is because you're their master. You're their love. You're their blanket. They don't need to get under the covers, which we used to have some dogs that did. And we used to sleep without heat in a room too. So I know what it's like. I'm not just saying this about this because I didn't experience. I experienced it. But it is what it is. But think about how spoiled we are here in the USA. And I'm going to say right here in our region here, in the little town of Buckingham, we're living here. And if the electricity goes out, man, I'm telling you, everybody in town is calling ComEd. When's it going to be? Well, they get so many calls that they can't take them, and it knocks the system out. Well, we're working on it. Well, what do you mean you're working on it? You should have it fixed. I mean, ComEd is located 20 miles away. If something happens out here, they're not going to get there. They're going to go boom, they're there. This isn't that one of those trains that we were talking about the other night.
I thought we need to have free electricity for it.
But that's what we need the free electricity for. I think I heard that. But not just free electricity. I wish I would have wrote this down. And somebody here may have seen it because I believe it was on our Telegram page. There's a country that has things built up that literally without wires, the poles and the wires and that leading into your house and that, without anything like that, it literally gives you electricity. Is that how we're getting the free electricity? Man, I'm telling you, the things that are about to change, they're gonna blow our minds. They're just gonna take us to a different stratosphere, and we all deserve it. But the reason I got talking about that is when I went into Walmart the other day, I was in the dog food section, and I was picking up my little dog some canned dog food, and I'm very picky about what I pick up because about what I put in her. And this little old lady, now I'm 71, she stops and she says, if you go to Farm and Fleet, well, Farm and Fleet it's 20 miles to Walmart. Farm and Fleet through town is another 5 or 6, 7 more miles. She says, if you go to Farm and Fleet, you can get this stuff that's really good. And she was explaining to me, she was excited. She's got 2 little dogs, and she went out there the other day, and it was $1 a can. Normally, no, 90 cents a can. Normally, it's $1.95 a can, and they had it on sale. She got so excited, she bought 4 cases, 96 cans. She got 2 dogs. But she says she's never seen canned dog food like this. And she looked at the ingredients as it's what you want to feed your dogs. It's not all of this crap. It's what you want to feed them. I'm going to get out there, and even if I got to pay the $1.95, I'll get her a few cans of that just to see if she likes it. But we're talking, and one thing led to another. And she said, "Sonny, what do you do for a living?" I said, "I'm retired." She said, "You're not old enough to retire." I said, "Ma'am, I'm 71 years old." She said, "Well, you're young. You should still be working." She said, "I worked till I was 85. She was 88 years old. And then walks up this little old man. I mean, he looked like Santa Claus on a diet. And he goes, "What are you talking to now, Ethel?" And Ethel looked at him and said, "I'm talking to this nice man. I don't know his name." I told him my name. They go, "Oh, that's a good name. You must be in your 70s. That's a name that was given back in my days in about for 20 years. And I said, "Yep, it was my grandpa's name." And, we got talking, and I told him what I did do is patriotism movement work. And I got a group of people working with me. I told Ethel, I said, "Ethel, if we don't change it, we can't rely on the next generation." She said, "Oh my God, don't get me started on the next generation." She says, "It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The kids in the 30s and the 40s, all it's about is money, 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 money. Hey, let's put our kids in preschool and then kindergarten so both of us can work." And I give you a full indication of that. My son makes over 6 figures a year. His wife is a teacher's aide, and she makes about 15 to 18, but she only works 9 months. Her job is more or less so she can have spending money. His job is to take care of things, and stuff like that. The other day at her school, they asked her to get on a bus and ride it because they need to help. The kids are so small, they need help getting off of a bus. I remember when I was in 1st grade and I got on Verl Nutt's bus or Bert Smith's bus, whichever one was driving. If we would have looked and said, "Hey, we need someone on the bus to help us get off," they'd have looked at us and said, "Then you get with your parents and you get them drive you to school." Fortunately for me, I didn't have to ride a bus. I walked out of my front door, across my yard, and I was at school. But things have changed so much. Yes, Janet. Oh, thank you for the praying hands. Janet just said, "Ralph." David Duffy said, "Janet, thumbs up." I love it, guys. Lots of waves. You guys are getting along very good tonight. Papa G, good to see you. Papa G, did you send me a message the other day that we need to talk again? Or am I dreaming this? see how loyal I am to my fans and my followers. See, I dream about Papa G wanting to talk to me, and I might not have. It's just, guys, I'm getting so many messages right now. Larry Smith, good to see you. Mac McCrary, Janet. We got an amen up there, but I think there's a name above it. David Duffy, good to see you. And I'll try to get the rest of them. Okay, Papa G, we can always talk. Okay, good idea. But that's what it's at, guys. And it's just so much positivity. I'm going to go in now and kind of read a few of the things that we got for this show tonight. But, my feelings is right now, if I was to stop the show tonight, what we have shared with you, and yes, my stories to the kids got a little long and my other stuff got a little long. But you know what I found? I found when I was just Ralph, when I wasn't Patriot 5, when I was reading everything and trying to get you information that you might have been the one that sent it to me. But I'm trying to put a show together so you guys could get everything. And I've been told by so many people, go back to being Patriot 5. Go back to laughing and telling your stories and your corny jokes and things like that. That's what the people told me they love. That's what got them to follow me when they would hear my voice, the way I would talk, the way I would do things. And they said, I'm unique. I'm one of a kind. Well, yeah, that's pretty apparent. But so what do we got? This is pretty important, guys. To me, the greatest basketball player is Michael Jordan. So remember that name, Michael. And another one that back when I was younger, a great player, was Oscar Robertson. So remember that name. So remember the Michael and the Robertson. And why? Because as they used to say on Mickey Mouse Club, because we love you. But just remember them two names when I changed the name here. The U.S. Navy Judge Advocate General Corps on Friday put a little noose around that man's name, them two names I give you, put a little noose around it until he no longer had breath in his body. We all know that person is another person. And I think you guys all know who it was. And I'm not going to go into a lot of things because, at Real Raw News published the art of the other person when she was a lady compared to when, or acting like a lady compared to the man, covering segments of the tribunal, but was unable to complete the story due to the missing pieces, which later received. Guys, what I'm trying to tell you is, is gone. You know what I mean? I got to be very discreet here. But myself personally, I think it's just a story coming out. The reason I can't find the truth is because I really believe it happened a long, long time ago. Back in the days of yesteryears, as they used to say. So I wanted to read that, but I had to be, truthfully, I wanted to read it, but I knew I really couldn't. So I actually don't know why I did it. The FBI has officially served Tim Walz and Minnesota Mayor Frey subpoenas in criminal investigations into the conspiring to impede ICE operations. It's about to get really bad for these two SOB boys. Oh, soy boys. I thought it said SOB. It says soy boys. Anybody hear about the Fat Man in Illinois? And you can tell I love Illinois, even though we have the Fat Man running us. And guys, when I say the Fat Man, I am not being disrespectful to fat people. But that's the nickname I give this guy. I could call him a couple of other names, but I want to keep it clean. But anyway, he said that there is no way that the hat could send the National Guard in. Well, you know what? The hat proved him wrong. And now he faces charges because he tried to intervene and cause riots. XRP to the moon. Now remember, guys, when I read something about XRP, any cryptocurrency, any foreign currency, any currency at all, I am not a financial advisor. I read things and show you things that could happen. As I said, I was talking to a lady, and when I talked to her about XRP, she had some people that she knows look into it, and her and about 4 others bought quite a bit. But anyway, Brad Garlinghouse states the Bitcoin experience is done. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the Bitcoin experience is done. Bitcoin has dropped. It went up to almost $98,000. I think it was 5 or 6 days ago. And the reason I know this is because I have a friend whose brother is into financial advising. And about 10 years ago, when Bitcoin really hit the skids, they were so desperate to sell Bitcoin, they were selling it in lots of 100. But you had to pay $5,500 for it, which is not something. Ralph, Patriot 5, One Voice, Papa. Well, Papa G got a lot of money. He might be able to afford it. I'm just teasing. You know, Janet, that's not something that the people, maybe if we put all our pennies together, we might be able to get a lot, but I doubt it. 5,500 times 10 is 55,000. So this lady had to come up with $550,000. And when I was talking to her the other day, I said, man, you ought to be, she bought 100 of them, 100 Bitcoin. At 5,500 10 years ago. I said, you're sitting on a gold mine. But I said, don't sit on it too long. And she said, why? I said, because it's about to drop faster than an elevator that's not working right. And she was, no. My brother let me know. I says, I'm going to tell you the work that your brother does and everything you've told me, he is great at his job. But what's about to hit, he is not going to have his eyes open to let you know. I'm telling you, if it hits 90,000, it was at 97,000, or 97,000. If it hits 90,000, sell. Today, I think it's down to 87,000. $10,000 in less than a week. But still, every now and then I cry when I think about that because, see, guys, I had a chance to buy Bitcoin for a half a penny a piece. But if I would have done it, I would have been a snob like the rich people are, and I wouldn't even care. I wouldn't even know what the Patriot movement was. I wouldn't know we're about ready to go into it. XRP is the future, engineered for $10,000 per coin. Trillions in global capital could enter the XRPL, driven by the real token launch on January 26th. As much as 800 billion could flow into real on XRP ledger, potentially triggering a powerful supply shock. $800 billion on the 26th could go in to XRP. Do you really think it's going to stay? And I'm not telling anybody, David Duffy, Papa G, One Voice, Janet, Larry Smith, I'm not telling any of you to go out and buy a bunch, but it might not be a bad idea to go out and buy 10 or 12, 15 or 20. I mean, they're sitting right now just a little under $2. Can you imagine $2? You go out and buy 25, it costs you $50. You go out and buy 10, $2, less than $25, you can buy 10. You got 10 of them, and it goes to $10,000. That's $100,000 in your pocket. But see, what they're not saying, $100,000 in your pocket. What they're not saying, guys, what they're not saying is the fact that I don't think it's going to stop there. You're not going to put that much money in. You're not going to replace Bitcoin with XRP. That's not going to be the currency that's traded around the world and only go to 10,000. I told you, Bitcoin is dropping, but Bitcoin has hit, I know, at least $112,000 to $115,000 at one point. Can you imagine at a half a penny a piece if I would have bought $1 worth? Do the math. 2 for a penny, 20 for a dime, 200 for $100, or $2,000 for $100. If I'd have, but I said if I just bought $10 worth, it's unbelievable. The people can change their lives just being in the right place at the right time. And do not get off of this show and run and say, I got to buy XRP. If you want to buy it, you buy some. It's totally up to you. We are not financial advisors. We are just a family here trying to help family members. The hat drops a bombshell confirming Venezuela election software connections and tampering in 2020. Elections and others after the successful Maduro raid and capture. Says Mr. Hat, the crap's about ready to hit the fan. There's nothing stopping us now. What? Restored Republic, as of today, it is today's date, 21st. Oh, yes, guys. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Wendy. Happy birthday to you. And not only is it a great day, Wendy's birthday, it's also a great day because it's the anniversary of my divorce, my freedom. 20 years ago today, I got set free. What is the song that the Supremes used to say? Set me free, wide. Oh, and it was glorious, guys. And as you can see, I am one happy man. Restored Republic of the 21st. Da, 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 da. Let's see what Judy's got. I haven't got to read much of this. Judy note on Tuesday, 20th January 2026, Junior announced on Telegram that he was alive, was vice president of the Republic under the president, the hat, under the Q movement, and has been masquerading as Juan O'Savin. I guess if that's true, I guess that one, and Ron guessed that one. It's first time we heard that man speak. Me and Ron both said, that's Junior. The plan to save the world. Phase 1, broadcast insurrection acts declared comms secured. Phase 2, military controls, network targeted blackout. Phase 3, raids, arrests, seizures. Phase 4, tribunals, crimes exposed. Phase 5, economic resets, QFS activated, feds and the IRS abolished, gold-backed currency, big N funds released. President the Hat has given the green light for the EBS activation. The Great Reset has begun. The global currency reset has crossed the point of no return, ushering in the prosperity under the big N, big G. Redemption appointments roll out in 5-day window beginning Monday, 19th January through Friday, 23rd January, where they better get going. If I'd have seen that when I wouldn't even have read it. The QFS enforces sovereign freedom worldwide across 209 BRICS nations with prosperity packages, no taxes on earnings, and trillions redirected to rebuild America and poverty and uplift the planet. Redemption centers for the general public open under military security by early February. I don't think it's going to be that long, but that's what she's saying. Possible timing. They have announced a 5-day rollout. I just read that. I've read the redemption centers. Tuesday, 20 January 2026, Bruce, the big call, universe. Tier 3 was supposed to receive a notification on their funds yesterday and today, Tuesday, 20th January. Sources say Tier 4B should get notifications Wednesday or Thursday and begin exchanges this week. One source said 72 to 96 hours, 3 to 4 days for notifications. the FAR date for Tier 4B, notification Saturday, 24 January. They will ask how much money you need for humanitarian projects for the first 90 days. Redemption centers will go higher rate to the bank. Myself personally, I'm not even sure I'm going to start a humanitarian project. I want to be able to sit back, put my feet up, and just look the situation over. Now, if they want to allow me 30 days later to go back in and tell them what I need for the next 60 days, I'm all in. But we have all put so much into this. Janet and Janet. I'm sorry, guys. It was Papa G and Larry. Guys, we've all put so much into it. Maybe we need to step back, not lose communication, still do meetings, just talking session, building sessions, but just step back and, breathe a little bit. Banks cannot redeem the Zim bonds. You do that at a redemption center. The quantum financial system has breached legacy firewalls and locked out unauthorized channels. Global banking infrastructure is experimental internal failure. Tier 4B redemption pathways are now live. The media blackout is pre-positioning what looks like a crash as controlled reset execution phase. Big N, Big G protocols are confirmed. Active in 27 jurisdictions with additional nations synchronizing into quantum grid. Guys, I'm ready to stop. I've talked a lot. I've been non-talking. Hey, Ella T5P, is this my granddaughter? Ella T5P? If it is, please say yes. Happy birthday to Gold. Oh, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Golden Arrow. Happy birthday to you. Good to see you, Ella. How's mommy doing? I know she fell down the stairs the other day. Is she doing okay? Okay, got a little talk with my granddaughter. It's time to go, guys. Everybody, if you want, say hi to my granddaughter. You know her as Ella. She used to be my partner for a while. She's good. Glad to hear her. Tell her I said hi. And I will talk to you guys later. We'll see you Friday night, if not before. Love yous all. Good night.